I was the only person who didn't have that type of week. The ankle weights in the pool. Rebound Reds.
Boo.
Rebound Reds. We didn't play for forever, and then we played our biggest game of the season, which is every game for the rest of the season because it's UCL or bust. I've been on that for 3 months now. And look, they played great. I thought the first half was exactly how we talked about in our preview, which was you had a team playing on Thursday and you had a team that hadn't played in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And that met in the first half where both teams were kind of just there, wasteful, kind of weren't placing well passes. And it just was kind of ugly. Towards the end, I thought United turned it up a little bit and that carried over into the second half. And then that second half, from a neutral's perspective, I assume it was a good watch because it was pretty back and forth, which we talked about that in the preview. That's where United shine in that chaos. Villa are proper shit.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about them after the Rebound Reds. I forgot to put the title thing in here, but from a United perspective, I mean, it feels pretty comfortable at this point. I'll let you guys talk about the match, and then I'll say my thoughts after, because you can just look at my 5 things.
No, I didn't watch the match.
Oh,
yeah.
Grant,
I watched some of it. Yeah, I mean, to your point, Villa sold me fucking dreams. So, yeah, I think they stink. But at the same time, this whole race, to me, these 4 teams fighting for 3 positions, it's which team's going to be the least shit. Like, I know we're not talking about it today, but that Liverpool-Spurs game, I mean, what a horrific football match, right? Mm-hmm. Just from every aspect. Quality-wise, just not good. And like you said, in these sort of just like, yeah, fuck it games, like that's when United kind of shine. They're the types of players that they have, right? You're not looking at them thinking, okay, Cunha's going to be in zone 14 and we're going to have – no, like it's just an open game when you have guys just platform to pick up the ball and make something happen. Like, that suits your team. And yeah, it took you a little bit of time to get into the game and get the cobwebs off and all that. It was almost like an international break. But yeah, once you're able to dust that off and kind of get into the flow of a game, especially a team like Villa who will give you that platform to do so. Yeah, he took care of business. Ross Barkley, I thought, was good, by the way. Shout out Ross Barkley in his first start of the year. Their midfield's been absolutely decimated. I think John McGinn coming back adds a lot of intangibles for them and really helps Villa do what they do. But yeah, Morgan Rogers wasn't great. Buendia wasn't great. Ollie Watkins, again, nothing. Tammy wasn't much better, but at least I think he was more of a threat. But again, it's which team's going to be the least ass. Because as for what I'm saying about Villa and Liverpool drop points to Tottenham, I don't think we're much better either. So I think out of these 4 teams fighting for these spots, United are definitely – who would have thought the most competent of the 4?
Yeah, I was going to push back on that ass point. United have just been a good team since Carrick has taken over. And like we've spent 10 games almost here debating if they're a good team under him.
Definitely the least ass of the 4. Definitely.
Well, it's not even the least ass
separated from the other 3.
The least ass of the entire Premier League because they've been the best team in the Prem since he's taken over. And that's my point is like they've just been a good team. They have their low moments, but they've been a good team. And so, like, it's a weird spot that everyone finds with United because they aren't playing a ton of games. So it's kind of like those.
I think that's the advantage.
Yes, but that was the whole code.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Like, yeah, it's a major advantage not playing midweek. We've seen it though. When United have to do that midweek, they struggle.
Yeah, but they don't have to do that.
No, they don't have to do that. But
in the context of the season, they're cool.
Yeah, that's their major advantage going forward is that they're not in these competitions. I do think as we go on a little bit, there will be a little bit of a leveler. Some of these teams are not going to be competing in all available competitions going forward.
Sure.
Maybe as soon as Wednesday. So it's all how they react to that though. I think you guys also just have momentum. Whereas the other teams have downward momentum right now, literally all of them. You're the only one going up. So it's like a little elevator. You're just waving to them on the way, passing each other.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you know what?
You guys have been good.
I want to go into an analogy direction. I do want to go into
an
analogy direction. That was good, Mila. It's almost like Liverpool, Chelsea, Villa are all just going down on the escalator, but you guys are just chilling on the second floor. You're like, why are you guys all going down? So like, if anything, you guys are going to take the stairs up, take your time, slowly get better, right? Go up. But
Yeah.
man, it's all relative. Everything's relative. And like you said, Dylan, you don't have to play 3 times a week this year. So it really doesn't matter in the context of this conversation. Yeah, I think you're comfortable. I think it's sorted. There are question marks regarding how deep the squad is, all that. Doesn't matter this year. Doesn't matter this year. I think you're totally fine. I think you could start planning for Champions League next season. Start looking at some managers. I think it's that comfortable.
Yeah. It feels like
they need to plan is the thing. Like you can't just be like, oh,
I have no faith in their board. I think they're idiots
that's
too.
The main issue is what I'm worried about if I was a United fan is that yeah, we are pushing for you Champions League right now, but we have to be ready for that going into next year. Or the same issues from the past are going to arise. Obviously, different manager, whatever, different energy around the club, but the current team cannot go into Champions League football season the way it is, and I don't think it will. There's obviously going to be changes, but I do think it's going to be a little more like work needs to basically be done in the next couple months leading into the transfer window so that you guys are able to build throughout the preseason and into the new season with
multiple defensive midfielders need to come in, right? Casemiro's gone. Ugarte's not playable at all.
No,
so that needs to be addressed. Bruno's phenomenal. I would imagine he stays, so maybe you don't need cover for him. But yeah, you need wingers. You don't have any wingers. So we'll see. There's work to be done. There's definitely work to be done, but yeah, this year, sorted.
It's funny because while everything from a perspective with the media and like some of the back house staff stuff has been awful, because it has, none of the signings were awful. So I actually feel decent about
they were good signings, yeah.
Right, and it just under them in general, like they've been decent. Like some of them have been hurt, but at least the signings have been decent. To like, I don't feel bad about that. My biggest concern is what they do with the manager position. Personally, I don't even know what to do with it because look, Carrick's put himself in a spot where he absolutely deserves to be in that running. And I sent you that list of managers that are in the race. I can't sit here and tell you that any of them are better than him currently at that job. Like, I just can't. Like, Nagelsmann is the only guy that I look at and I'm like, I think he can do that. I'm not convinced, but I think he can do that. And the rest of them, I don't know. Yeah, I find issues with everyone else. So where they go with that, how much due diligence they do in that, I hope they're already doing it, would be my hope.
I think, I don't know. It might just be.
I hope it's Poch.
It won't be.
It should be Carrick, in my opinion. I think the momentum that he's building and also the fact like the system seems to be working under him. You're going to bring in another manager with a new ideology. It could be square one all over again.
Yeah.
He also might not be ready for 3 games a week as a manager in terms of being able to balance these competitions at that level because the championship schedule is really busy, but the stakes are nowhere near what they are at Man United. So
you can give him the tools, though.
It is a good feeling right now at the club, and I don't think that's been there for a while. Just the overall sense of calmness and like you're not as worried about it. He gets it. We hear all these buzzwords, but in this instance, it's been a big help in sort of stabilizing things. So it's hard to really measure how important that's been. So
we talked about
a lot of questions. I'm excited to see what they do because
in the beginning with Chelsea, we talked about Rosenior and the statements that he made. Even after a game where they lost with, down a man, he still said everything right. And to your point about him knowing, that's the one thing he has over every other manager that's going to come in. You don't get that punched in the face. This club is bigger than I thought. Because that's what every single manager since Sir Alex Ferguson has left. It's been, oh shit, this is a bigger deal than I thought. Carrick understands it. He's been there before. He's played for the team. I think that gives him that leg up. I think I'm leaning in that direction too, just because if we're looking at the trajectory of the team, right? This year was get them back to UCL. He has single-handedly since taking over done that. Maybe the bar was so low that this is the current bar, but then really realistically next year, are we saying that United should be competing for the league? No. Like that shouldn't be the totem pole. It should be UCL again and competing on 3 fronts. So I think that if you give Carrick, like Neil was saying, the tools that at least you can know, what's the worst that happens? You start that cycle a year later. Look, United shouldn't be in a spot where they're do or die, live or die with that. That we've talked about that all year. So I don't know. His resume and body of work tells me he should get the job. I think it's like 11 wins in 12 or something.
So what does Paul Scholes think?
Yeah, dude, all those United ex-players that are fans. I saw Roy Keane talking about it after the game. Like, the dude literally last week said that he's not a fan of United. Yeah, they're making money.